Hi, welcome to Steps Ballroom Online. This is our Week 1 recap video for our Hustle 2 live stream class series. If you'd like to be a part of our live stream classes on Sunday evenings, you can reach out to us via email at dance@stepsballroom.com. You can also reach us via our social media links, which you'll find down in the description. Do make sure you like and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell so you'll receive updates of all of our future recap video postings. For our Hustle 2 class, we're going to be revisiting some of the patterns that we did in our Hustle 1 class. And we'll be changing our rhythm structure from our 4-count hustle for Hustle 1 to the faster variation, which will be 3-count hustle through the fold class for Hustle 2. So we will be doing variations on patterns that we had done previously, which means the footwork from those patterns will carry over. If you would like full breakdowns of the footwork for some of these patterns, you can find that in the links above. We're going to start this class with our basic pattern, moving that into our 3-count rhythm. So the first pattern we're tackling here are going to be our 2 basics. We have our preparation basic and we have our right rotating basic that we practiced in Hustle 1. In Hustle 1, we did that on the 4-count rhythm. The structure of the steps will stay the same here. We're still going to have back, rock, forward, rock. But whereas in Hustle 1, we did that on a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, with every single count being an even count, here we're going to syncopate. Specifically, we're going to syncopate on that first step going into the motion. So as we count in on a 5, 6, 7, 8, it's actually the 8 beat that we're cutting in half for the syncopation. So our rhythm structure is going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So we're only going to be taking 3 beats of music to do 1 full basic, and then that will loop us through the measures. We'll be a little bit asynchronous to the music as we go through the process. We will continue to syncopate and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, even though the footwork remains the same as our 4-count variation. So as we take our partner, we get 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Another way of counting it is if you don't like the numbers, you can think of this as quicks and slows. It's 2 quicks and 2 slows. The problem is that the quicks are on either bookend of the pattern. So as we go into this, we have 5, 6, 7, 8, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, quick to end the sequence. Whichever way of counting makes the most sense to your brain is the type of counting that you should do as you take your pattern. So that's just taking it with our prep step. Now we want to combine that with the right turn motion. So in our 4-count, we had 1 prep step here, then right turn as we go through the motion, right turn through the motion, and continuing that process. The structure again is identical. We're still going to pass each other with that same open arm position to full arm extension. We're just going to use that syncopated rhythm for the 3-count motion. So as we take that with our partner, we will have 1 prep step moving into 4 measures of basic right turn, and then we'll prep step out at the end. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, and prep. 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 2, 2, 3, and 3, 2, 3, and 4, 2, 3, and prep, 2, 3. So our second pattern that we're going to be revising with a new variation for the 3-count hustle is our alternating turns. In our Hustle 1 class, we did alternating turns 1 and alternating turns 2. The footwork was identical between those 2, and it will remain so here. What we're going to change is 2 things. This is going to be our alternating turns 3 pattern. The first change is that we're moving to that 3-count rhythm that we're using with our new basic. The second change will be that our arm work for this one will be a man's overhead drape rather than a side pass or an underarm turn. Before we get into the syncopation and the footwork for this, let's talk our way through the arm work briefly. So with all of our alternating turns pattern, we started with a reverse underarm turn for our follower. So we go through the motion, taking it around the head, shifting sides. Now, in the 2 previous variations, we did the leader's motion with the left hand. We are now going to switch that up and do the leader's motion with the right hand as we take our fingertips up and across the middle to create a little window that we can see our partner in. Now, as we pass past our partner, we are doing that on the left side of our partner. And then we're going to take this over our head. And as soon as it goes over our head, we're going to let go with the bottom hand and start to rotate around to face our partner getting to here. So we alternate between the follower's reverse turn and the leader's window motion. Now, the only additional steps that are necessary is we need to have a hold of this right hand when we start the leader's window. So as you go through the follower's reverse turn, you're going to let your hand hit their back and trace to their arm, to their hand, so that you're going to end up in a position where you're here and not desperately trying to catch that hand at the back part of the motion. Then we'll step through again to come through the other side. Now, just like with our basic, the footwork for this remains the same as our two previous variations in Hustle 1. Again, you can find the links for those videos in the above link if you want to review the specific follower and leader's parts. Here, we're switching to the 3-count rhythm. So as we do our prep step going in, and 1, 2, 3, we will start with the follower's underarm turn going, and 1, 2, 3. Then we'll have the leader's window motion going, and 2, 2, 3. Then we'll have the follower's reverse, and 3, 2, 3. Then we'll have the leader's window, and 4, 2, 3. At which point you can prep out or return to basic if you're continuing on to another motion, and prep 2, 3. Let's take that sequence again with our partner at tempo. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, and prep 2, 3. Followers turn 2, 3. Leaders turn 2, 3. Followers turn 2, 3. Leaders turn 2, 3. Prep out 2, 3, and hold. Now, any weirdness with the hands where you end up at a non-standard handhold can just be turned back over at any point to go to standard handhold. So our last variation is going to be our double turn variation 3, which we're again borrowing from our Hustle 1 class. Just like with variation 1 of double turn and variation 2, the footwork will again remain the same for both the leader and the follower. Again, reference the previous videos for the full breakdown of those steps. What we're going to have here is both a change in the rhythm structure to our 3-count rhythm, but also a different arm work set. So this is going to be our third variation of follower's double turn, which will also be known as the underarm duck variation for the motion. So again, tackling this with the arm work before we worry about the syncopated footwork, we have our partner in a double handhold position ready to bring them into the double turn. This is going to feel at first similar to our variation 1, the overhead drape. So as we bring them into our right side to start the pattern, we're going to shoot the right arm over top to come down here to the shoulder. Now in variation 1, we just lifted the arm and let them come all the way through until we got into our double cross hand position to set up for the double turn. This is where we're going to make the distinct difference. So as we bring them in, right arm goes over the head to the follower's shoulder. The follower relaxes the arm entirely down to the chest. Now, as we get here, we're going to drop the left hand. And as the follower turns out, turning to their right, we're going to bring our right hand around on their shoulder, keeping contact. And you're going to have to step forward into this, which we will with the footwork. But this is going to be where we maintain the sole contact. So I have no contact in my left hand, and the follower has brought both hands down to their waist to keep them out of the way for the turn. Now we are going to use our right hand and palm to do the double turn motion going around our follower's neck and head as we do the motion. So we bring them forward into the double turn, rotating them around. At a certain point, you will notice that my arm comes to the back of their neck and there's nowhere else for them to go. So this is where the ducking portion of the duck comes in. So the follower is going to drop knees down and chin down to duck the head under the arm as we continue to palm rotate the partner around till we get to our arm on their back. This is the end of the double turn motion. We'll be side by side at this position. We'll then guide our partner out using the forearm to turn them to the left one last time to face us and catch both hands at the end of the pattern. Now, of course, that's a bit of a doozy of a turn. Let's take that from one more angle so that we can see where this is going. We bring them in, right arm over the head, make the connection to the shoulder, arms relax. As they come out, turning to the right again, we're going to take the hands and drop them with the exception of the right palm onto the follower's right shoulder. We're going to rotate them around here through the motion until our arm gets to the back of their neck, at which point they duck under the arm as we continue to palm rotate them and bring the arm down to the small of the back to catch them. And then this is the final position of that double turn. We'll push them in front. As we do, we can ask for the left hand to right hand connection to guide them back out in front of us to reconnect back to our prep step or our basic or whatever pattern is coming next. Now, when we combine that with the footwork and we work through the syncopation, we start with our prep step like always, or we're coming into it from a basic off of another pattern. So we have and prep 2, 3. We go into the under or the overhead drape motion going and 1, 2, 3. We're going to track with them with our feet as we go through the next part and release them to the palm hold. And 2, 2, 3. And then as we start the rock step going into the double turn motion, the follower has standard double turn footwork. And then the leader's just going to track with them going and 3, 2, 3, catching them with balance as much as possible. Going into a back rock to start your final measure of the pattern. And 4, 2, 3, prep out, 2, 3, or connect back to your basic as you go. Now let's take the footwork and the arm work together. We're going to take this at tempo. We will do 1 prep step followed by the 4 measure double turn 3 variation. And then we'll finish with 1 prep step. Starting 5, 6, 7, 8, and prep, 2, 3, bring them in, 2, 3, and 2, 2, 3, and 3, 2, 3, and 4, 2, 3, prep out, 2, 3. So now we have the updated variations of our patterns from Hustle 1 brought into our Hustle 2 syncopated 3-count hustle rhythm. We also have the variations 3. However, variations 1 and 2 from our Hustle 1 can also be done with the syncopated rhythm as well. Now, when we build this into the pattern structure for Hustle 2, we are going to start with 1 prep step, as always, to get our feet moving. We will then do 4 measures of basic right turn. After 4 measures of basic right turn, we will move into the 4 measure alternating turns variation 3. We're not going to put filler basics in between the sequences. Instead, after alternating turns 3, we're going to go straight into the 4 measure sequence for our followers double turn variation 3 or the underarm duck. The end of that sequence, we will go ahead and prep straight out and then either reconnect and repeat the sequence or practice on those patterns individually. Now that we have the whole sequence, let's take that with our partners with the music. Tempo before you go is and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1. We take it with our partners. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8, and prep. 2, 3, right turn. 3, and 2, 2, 3, and 3. And 4, 2, alternating turns. And 2, 2, 3, and 3, 2, and 4, 2, 3, double turn. And 2, 2, 3, and 3, 3, and 4, 2, 3, and prep, 2, 3 to finish. All right, so work with those 3 pattern sequences for this week for our Hustle 2. Next week, we will review all of those sequences as well as start working on our next sequence to continue to build our pattern over the course of the 8-week class. If you have any questions, you can feel free to email us at dance@stepsballroom.com. You can also leave a comment below. We would be happy to follow up with you. Do make sure you like and subscribe. It really does help us out here at this channel. Otherwise, keep practicing, and I will see you in our next lesson.